So we need to think carefully our steps. It's yun ang nainis pa ako kanina. Ang tawag nila kay Kaado Chinese. No, it's not like that. Yun ang problema natin kasi parang lahat na lang ng tao na nagsasalita at trying to correct the misconception about this issue, which is very complicated and highly politically charged. Tineterm na nilang pro-China, tulad ni Kaado kanina. Hindi dapat ganun. Kasi to be frank with you, in the battlefield, in the international level, in the regional level, even that issue in the South China Sea, talo ang Pilipinas kung ganito tayo mag-isip. Kung gusto nating manalo, we need to think carefully. We need to think out of the box, and at the same time, huwag tayong padalos-dalos at huwag maging emotional.
Unahin ko lang muna, Prof, yung kanina pala doon sa natapos na TRICOM hearing. Kung saan, meron niyang komento si Kaado, no? Tungkol doon sa sinabi niyang estupido yung batas na isinusulong doon nga sa yung maritime law. At nung nagpaliwanag na siya, hindi naman siya nung pinagpapaliwanag siya, at nung nagpaliwanag na siya, hindi naman siya pinatapos. Ano sa tingin mo dito, Prof? May tama bang paliwanag doon? At ano ba ang tamang paliwanag sa pagkakalam niyo po ukol doon sa issue na yun, Prof?
Yes, yun na nga Kasi supposedly I was actually invited. Na-invite din ako sa TRICOM right now. Ang problema lang, nagkaroon ng conflict of schedule ako dahil nga 2 months ago na, kumbaga, nag-agree na ako to participate in the RCEP, o yung Regional Economic Regional Economic patituloy ako, hindi ko na naalala yung RCEP. RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership na conference kung saan nagkaroon ng conflict. Kasi, so actually nagbigay ako ng excuse letter sa TRICOM sa committee, sa Congressional Committee kanina na nag-hearing, na hindi ako makapunta if in any case kasi nga nandito ako sa conference na to. So, yun. Tapos pero kahit na nasa conference ako, kahit papano, tinitignan-tignan ko kung ano yung mga update na nangyari dyan sa TRICOM hearing, especially dun sa kasi ako naman talaga at saka si Kaado, uneven SAS I think was mentioned the last time. So kaya kami na-invite ng TRICOM. Ngunit si Kaado ang nakarating at ako naman nagbigay ng excuse letter out of respect for the institution kasi it's the House of Representatives. Kahit papano nire-respeto ko ang ating institution, ang House of Representatives bilang isang quote-unquote democratic institution. So kanina, pinapanood, binigyan ako ng footage na, yun nga, nagpapaliwanag si Kaado tungkol dun. Kasi ang post ni Kaado, yun ang ginawang parang showcasing ni Tariela. Na sinasabi niya na parang, yan ang proof na si Kaado ay halimbawa, ang tingin, ang inanuhan nila na medyo hindi ko rin nagustuhan na para bang the person went there, you invited him, he went there out of good faith. Nabibigyan niyo siya ng platform to speak. And at the same time, siguro naman bilang isang institusyon na supposedly democratic, hindi naman siguro dapat nag-ad hominem pa na sometimes he was addressed as the Chinese because that is not right also as far as Kaado is concerned. So medyo off ako doon. So yun nga, tinatanong nga siya kasi kung bakit daw niya, nilabas nga ni Tariela ang post niya sa Facebook na sinasabi niya na it was stupid law or rather stupid for ganun ata ang kanyang framing ni Kaado na to sign the Maritime Zones Act. Kasi for Kaado, it was a critical comment. Maybe the word stupid is a little bit more provocative, but I think it was not really out of respect. But I think the way I analyze it, he was trying to put the message across na bakit nyo pinush ito kasi may mga legalities dito at may mga complications sa batas na pinush at naging batas na ngayon natin sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga ako, katapos ng first day ng conference, naglagay ako ng rejoinder. At I posted it in my social media account, especially in Facebook, with that video. Kasi first and foremost, ang gusto naman talagang gawin ni Kaado, i-explain ng mabuti kung bakit niya sinabing stupid at ano yung basihan ng pagsasabi niya ng stupid, which I think kung sana pinayagan nilang makapag-explain si Kaado, kasi baka naman yun ang magkaroon tayo ng enlightenment na may mga bagay tayong ginagawa na probably hindi siya ganun. Well, in the long run, we will be at the disadvantage kasi precisely may mga complications siya. Like for example, ang sinasabi nilang Maritime Zones Act of the Philippines na actually ito yung bagong batas na naipasa at ang ano dito is Republic Act number 11934. Ay yung post ko sa Facebook, tinitignan ko right now. It was signed into law in August 2023. Tapos, ano yung purpose niya? To codify and declare the country maritime zones in accordance with the international law. However, according to Kaado, which I know as well, kasi pinag-uusapan namin yan, we belong to the same think tank, na sinasabi nga niya, paragraph 2 of the act, which refers to the West Philippine Sea, reveals a fundamental strategic and legal miscalculation. Kasi nga, may problema doon sa term na WPS. Kasi ang WPS, to be frank, is not internationally recognized. It is to a certain degree ginagamit natin sa Pilipinas because there is a domestic legislation. At yun ang tinatawag nating Executive Order number 29 na pinirmahan at nilabas ni Aquino III. Nung time na yun, kasi may standoff tayo and we filed a complaint in the tribunal. Pero kung ang WPS may backing siya na executive order, domestically, yes, may legally speaking, technically speaking, yes, it may be applicable to the context of the Philippines within the jurisdiction of the Philippines. But when you talk about international community, when you talk about international law, when you talk about recognition even among claimant states, even in the United Nations, even in tribunals, it is not recognized internationally. So yun yung punto niya na may contradiction, medyo may complication yung batas kasi legally speaking, when you put it in the international level, hindi siya malakas. Wala siyang foundation wala siyang anchor. Domestically, yes, it's good to say na yeah, mayroon tayong WPS, mayroon tayong batas, but the most important kasi when you talk about the South China Sea, kasi ang South China Sea is not a domestic issue. It is a regional issue. You deal with other countries in the region, including China. So dapat ang tingin ko kasi ang sinasabi niya, you have to come up with this kind of laws or whatsoever na may value siya sa international na mga negotiations. Kasi what would you do with something domestic? When you go out of your country, you negotiate your claim, pero hindi mo naman magamit kasi no one recognize it. Yun yung problema doon. Yun ang point ni I think that's how I perceive the point of Kaado na sinasabi niya, ay sandali lang. Pero mayroon pa siyang sinabing isa na ang paragraph 2, ang sinasabi din niya, which is very, very important, na hindi na-generate ang territorial sea by having this kind of, tawag nito, how do you call that? Itong, tawag nito?
Maritime law.
Maritime law. Hindi ganon. Kasi, ang territorial sea mo, it's not as if like pag nag-come up ka ng law, magkakaroon kaya ng territorial sea or sovereignty over certain areas. Hindi ganon. May proseso dyan and usually it involves the international community and the international level. Which I think ang ano ko lang sa ating mga kababayan kasi medyo mahaba yung explanation dyan. I posted my rejoinder in my Facebook account. So you can read it and slowly and understand it slowly for everyone to understand na sandali lang. Hindi ganito kadali ito. At wag natin siyang, wag tulad ni Tarela na para bang feeling niya, alam niya, wala naman siyang alam. Kasi kung alam niya, edi sana nakipagdebate siya kay Kaado para makita natin kung sino sa kanila ang nagsasabi ng totoo at kung sino sa kanila ang may talagang sinasabi na based on facts. Pero ang problema, off nila si Kaado, kawawa naman yung medyo matanda na si Kaado, kawawa naman na para bang disrespected yung tao when in fact, he went there out in good faith. Alam ko kasi minessage niya ako kaninang umaga, sabi niya sa akin, Ana, pinapatawag tayo ng TRICOM. Sabi ko, Kado, wala ho ako sa Pinas ngayon eh. Paano ba ho ba yan? Mag-attend po kayo. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, mag-attend po kayo. It's good opportunity to, to talk about these things in public na para ma-educate din natin ang ating mga kababayan. So mas ganon ang usapan namin kaninang umaga.
Opo, bago lang natin papasukin si EB, sundutan ko lang, follow-up question. Dahil kagaya doon sa pag-umpisa, doon sa batas patungkol doon sa West Philippine Sea, di ba? Yung may batas din yan during Aquino administration. Ang laging naririnig natin na kailangan muna natin, tayo dito sa bansa, kilalanin muna natin na ganito yung ating stand para kilalanin tayo ng mundo. Kasi paano tayo kikilalanin ng mundo kung hindi natin kinikilala? Yung ganun na mga rason po, Prof.
Yes, I understand that reasoning. But sometimes it depends on the issue that you're talking about. It depende yan sa issue. Kung ang issue na yun, ikaw lang talaga, sa'yo lang, Pilipinas lang ang may concern or want to or bilateral lang yan. Pero with a South China Sea issue, it's a different ball game. There are regional, there are regional countries involved. And also, it involves many other things like territoriality, sovereignty, economic EEZ or exclusive economic rights, which is basically anchored on sovereign rights. You have also the question of strategic interest that is going on and playing the geopolitical strategic interest that's playing in the region. So there's a lot, it's too much of complications. So hindi pwede na just because gusto mo makilala yung yung gusto mo at yung stand mo, gagawa ka na ng mga bagay na in the long run, magiging disadvantage sa iyo actually. And sometimes it complicates matters on the existing regional or multilateral negotiation that is going on in the region at the moment. Like for example, mayroon tayong nini-negotiate ngayon na ASEAN Code of Conduct. It's what China-ASEAN Code of Conduct. This is a multilateral kind of negotiation. It involves ASEAN, the 10 countries, and China. So pinag-uusapan niya. No, this Maritime Zones Act and even the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, actually, to be frank with you, it may complicate more the negotiation. So para ang nangyayari, because the Code of Conduct is supposedly, ang spirit niya is cooperation, mag-cooperate, wag mag-away, pag-usapan nating mabuti paano ba natin maiiwasan ang gitgitan dyan sa South China, ma-de-escalate ang tension, ma-maintain ang peace and stability. But if you put the Maritime Zones Act and even the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act in the picture of the negotiation, magkakaroon ka ng problema. Kasi magkakaroon yan ng gulo. Kasi bakit? First and foremost, when you talk about the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, isa sa mga provision niya is not even consistent with UNCLOS, like the passage, innocent passage, which in UNCLOS, any country can pass in the international water, even if it's your EEZ, kasi EEZ is their international water. So, pero pag inimpose ng Pilipinas ang Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, magkakaproblema ka, mag-react ang ibang countries sa region and even major power from outside would react kasi that's a domestic law. But, the issue is not domestic, it's regional and international. So, yun ang sinasabi ko. There are things that we really have to think before we do things. It's supposed to be a rational way of making laws and a rational way of trying to, present our claim na hindi tayo dihado or hindi rin tayo mag-create ng gulo in the long run. Kasi yun eh. Ang problema, masyadong emotional din ang Pilipino or even ito sila kasi ang nangyayari, it's not anymore about the issue, it's not anymore about kung saan tayo puposisyon. It's more about anti-China. No. The issue is not about China. The issue is how we're gonna fight our claim in the regional and the international arena. So we need to think carefully our steps. Yun lang nainis pa ako kanina. Ang tawag nila kay Kaado, Chinese. No, it's not like that. Yun ang problema natin eh. Kasi parang lahat na lang ng tao na nagsasalita at trying to correct the misconception about this issue, which is very complicated and highly politically charged. Tiniterm na nilang pro-China, tulad ni Kaado kanina. Hindi dapat ganun. Kasi to be frank with you, in the battlefield, in the international level, in the regional level, even that issue in the South China Sea, talo ang Pilipinas kung ganito tayo mag-isip. Kung gusto nating manalo, we need to think carefully. We need to think out of the box and at the same time, huwag tayong padalos-dalos at huwag maging emotional. Gamitin ang utak at maging wais tayo. Tulad ng ibang countries in ASEAN like Malaysia, Vietnam, And especially Vietnam. Vietnam is really good. It's very strategic when it moves.
Opo.
Actually, I admire them a lot.
Oh, opo. Pero may nakumbinsi tayo, ma'am. Si Google, may West Philippines na. Baka makumbinsi din natin yung iba.